Hello everybody, it's Calxiyn here. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember that you guys should join our Discord server or become patrons over on Patreon. So today, the question that we are talking about is if Blake hitting Adam in the head and all of the Blake stuff that happened with Adam was too anticlimactic.
She didn't just hit him on the head.
Okay, listen.
She
I know.
Kirked him. She...
Anyway, so we're going to be talking about that today, and this is going to be basically predictions for the final episode. We are going to do a couple more prediction videos, but at this point, I think that with the Cinder stuff done, we are going to get into finishing off the White Fang territory, because Adam is obviously not incapacitated. So what I want to talk about in terms of the scene is that a lot of people were saying that Blake hitting Adam over the head and him going down was pretty anticlimactic, but personally I disagree because it's not like Adam's knocked out, it's that he just fell over and he's getting back up and they're probably going to do this big ass fight, and so Yang is going to be downstairs talking to Raven, but after that she'll kind of kick Adam's ass in the heat of battle. That's kind of my prediction for how things are, one of my predictions I should say. You guys know that I don't really limit myself to one outcome on this channel, I try to talk about a lot.
Multiple outcomes, multiple videos. More AdSense, that's what we always say here at Calxiyn.
Calxiyn and Hunter. Anyways,
it's not me.
your name's in the title, so it's fine.
Motherfucker, I didn't ask for that.
Okay.
Like I don't want naming rights. I don't even want money. I just want like sometimes
okay, so
some
this
respect.
is a little off topic, but for Hunter's speech writing class, they basically had to stalk each other on social media and talk about who they are.
Guess who instead of writing that speech is here?
Okay.
Me.
But what I want, do you think that that person found the YouTube channel?
Oh, she absolutely, because right.
What do you mean she absolutely
She did because we talked about how you made a tweet about someone leaving shitty comments, and then you linked it to a video, and then I was like, get that man a fedora, and I think there was a picture of me in that video. So if she did her research, like if she gave a shit at all.
If she gave a shit, she found you.
She found it.
Okay.
She may
be watching this right now.
She may be watching. Maybe she's
class?
a fan.
When's her class? Is it on Tuesday or Monday?
It's on Tuesday.
Okay, well this video will be released on Tuesday, so good luck with that. Anyways, this video will be released on Monday, so your girl has one more day to find you. Anyway, so what we're talking about is basically...
Hi, Judy.
Is that her name?
I believe her name is Judy.
That's so nice.
And there's an
you don't
H
even
in
know.
It. There's G-U-D-H-Y.
That's ridiculous.
Like, what?
I thought it was cool. H in it? That's nonsense. Sorry, Judy, with an H. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to talk about that. So I don't think that was anticlimactic at all. Like, I feel like, okay, first of all, I feel like that fits, because the whole thing with Adam is that he's not really, like, not to say that he's not powerful. Obviously he is, but at the same time, he's really like Joffrey from Game of Thrones, where he's not that strong. He's just putting up a big temper tantrum. And so that's basically what he did. Like, he tried to stab Blake, and Blake hit him over the head, and he just went down like that. So that shows how pathetic he is, right? And I feel like that's a very important part of, you know, seeing Blake interact with Adam, is that you know, Blake knows how pathetic he really is. Like, obviously, he is someone that should be feared, and that he is someone who is basically deranged with a weapon, right? But at the same time, Blake knows him probably better than anyone, and so she knows his weak spot, right? And I mean, getting hit over the head is probably weak for anyone, but...
Yeah, no, our craniums, you know, they are both, like, it's good, right? Yeah. It's not great.
But I think that you understand what I mean, right? And so I also don't think it's anticlimactic because he wasn't knocked out. A lot of people thought that he was knocked out for some reason, even though he had a line right after. But he wasn't knocked out. He was, he just fell on the floor. And so I don't think that that's really anticlimactic at all, because there is going to be a big fight. Because my prediction is that next episode is basically going to be dealing with either the ramifications of Cinder, and I want to talk about more of the possibility that Cinder may get... or that Emerald may get the maiden powers if Cinder is actually dead. Is Cinder dead? All of those videos will be out later in the week.
All that good stuff.
All that good stuff. But in terms of the Blake situation, I feel like that too is going to contrast. So here's my prediction, is basically that they're basically now done. They're going to deal with the White Fang stuff outside. Yang is going to have a conversation with her mother. If Cinder is still alive, she is going to use her Grim arm to extend or use her maiden powers to float or whatever and come back from the ground. And I feel like in terms of that, again, I want to talk about that in a separate episode, but Cinder's aura is kaput. And so
really
I don't know if you can use magic if your aura is run out, because I know you can't use semblance. You can't use semblance if your aura runs out.
Yes,
that's
but
something
she
they've
has
established.
magic,
yeah,
though.
and so that's what
So
I'm
I feel
saying.
like that would allow her.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. So we don't know. But if her aura is really that broken, she's basically slowly freezing to death, right? And so she has to unfreeze herself before she falls on the ground and then freezes. So she may not be... people are acting like she's dead. I'm not saying that she's not dead, and I'm not saying that she's alive. I'm just giving out multiple possibilities.
She's like Mad Max from Princess Bride, you know? He's mostly dead.
Yeah, and
she's
so
mostly dead.
I don't want to pretend like I know that she's dead for sure, because I don't want to look like an idiot if she's not or she is, right? And so basically multiple...
It was not Judy, it was Trudy with an H. I think that's
Still
what it...
with an H? Oh
yes,
my
but
God.
it was also... I know it was...
Anyway,
yeah.
so
She seems like a nice person.
I'm sure she's lovely, but that's ridiculous. Anyway,
listen,
in terms...
You willingly call yourself Calxiyn. My name is more dogs than fucking humans.
Can we just talk about Blake? So
Yeah.
I feel like with here's my Blake related prediction, is that next episode is dealing with the White Fang. Either Emerald is getting the maiden powers and they have to deal with that inside, or Yang and Raven are having a conversation that is paralleled or contrasted to whatever Blake is doing with Adam out there. And then if Cinder's dead, she stays dead and Emerald has the maiden powers, like I said. Or Cinder at the last minute uses her grim arm to attach to the rock and like
call
zip herself
Cinder
up.
symbol?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
You understand what I mean, though, that she will grab onto the side of the rock and pull herself up, and Yang and Raven will have to deal with her together. And so that'll sort of be the cliffhanger for the season. But personally, I think that they're trying really hard to resolve all of the issues, and so I don't know. But again, this isn't a Cinder prediction video, so we'll talk about that in that particular video. But I think that they are going to wrap up the White Fang stuff in the next episode, and so if anything, let's say more.
You think that'll just be the end of the White Fang?
I don't know.
Like, imagine that.
That's what we're sort of talking about. So, let's just say that they take care of the White Fang stuff. We're not really going to get into how at this current moment, but they take care of the White Fang stuff. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Emerald and Mercury realize that Cinder is dead or that she's not coming back in retreat. Basically, they leave. I don't know how they leave since the police are there and nobody's gonna portal them home. So that's complicated, but let's just say that's how it happens. So in terms of the anticlimactic thing, that's just my prediction, is that they're gonna finish the White Fang stuff. And they're basically, not that they're gonna have a rest, but they're basically gonna kind of win this one, so to say. And so that's basically my prediction, is that they're either gonna win or they're gonna be left. We're gonna be left on a cliffhanger for 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, there's no in between. So we're either gonna win this fight with the White Fang, and we're gonna win this fight with Cinder, or it's gonna be like the last thing that you see as like Raven and Yang are leaving the vault together in their motherly love or whatever. Cinder's like little hand is on the side of the cliff and it goes like bang or whatever, and like you have a button and then it goes to black and we wait 6 months or whatever. Yeah, again, we're gonna do a separate video on Cinder. I think we've talked more about Cinder than Blake. But in terms of what's going on with Blake here, I think is that in terms of it being anticlimactic, at this point, it's been built up to a point where nothing is gonna satisfy people. And I'm not saying that means it gets to be bad, but basically what I'm saying is that in terms of what they've kind of done with this Blake arc, everyone wants it to be over so bad. I don't know if there's anything exciting that they could do. Like, I think that, like, Yang is gonna come out after talking with Raven and go help Blake and Sun and Alien, whatever, go defeat Adam or something along those lines, or, you know, at least you'll get the final hit in on Adam, like, from behind. And it's just like, oh, you learned that from your mom, Yang. You always get them you always make sure to tell them to watch their back. Right? That would be actually a very interesting contrast, like to how Raven dealt with Cinder if Yang does just get Adam in the back. So I like that. But in terms of it being anticlimactic, they've just built it up so much that nothing will satisfy people. And that's kind of the problem with John's Semblance, I think, is that You've built up Jean semblance to a point where nothing will satisfy everyone.
I feel like they haven't built it up, but I feel like other people built it up. Like
yeah, I agree. Yeah, so the show hasn't necessarily built it. But the fans have, right?
And honestly,
it's like the relics. Like, ooh, what are the relics? Are the relics people?
Well,
is the show, the relic? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, the relics are
obviously,
important.
the relics are important, but I'm saying that people made so many theories about them that, of course, we're all exhausted at this point. You know what I mean? Just like so many people made theories about John's semblance that when it actually happens, we're kind of like, ugh.
That we are those people.
Oh, yeah, but we make money.
Those other fuckers get it. Oh, you say we again when...
Yeah. I mean the other RWBY YouTubers that do stuff like this.
Just not me.
Just not you.
Yeah.
And so, in terms of it being anticlimactic, I think for those people that have hyped it up to certain levels, yeah, it's going to be anticlimactic no matter what happens, because you won't be able to satisfy people, because a lot of people are irritated that Blake's arc has been so long. They're like, can we finally fucking finish with this? Like, a lot of people are very angry, in a sense.
We call those people wrong. I think
not that, okay, so I think that the Blake arc should have definitely been handled differently, but I don't think that it's that bad. Like, y'all gotta just chill.
I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that in terms of pacing, sometimes they had issues. But I don't think that it's as bad as everyone's making it out to be.
Maybe I wasn't crazy about the recruiting montage.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I don't know.
And so, in terms of when we talk about that, I think that, again, no matter what happens at this point, people are going to be two things. They're going to be thankful that it's over, or they're just, like, they've hyped it so much in their heads because they've been like, okay, like, we're finally on the last stretch, like, Blake is finally getting everything together, like, they're just gotten themselves, I don't want to say too excited, because I think excitement is, like, a core, like, part of the experience, but, like, if you guys have noticed, Hunter and I trying not to build expectations for the episode, like, the only thing that I think that we built an expectation of was Jean healing Weiss, and so we weren't as impressed with it while it happens, but literally everyone else did that, you know? So I feel like in terms of this, is that I feel like that the only thing that'll satisfy people, I think, is that finally everything happens exactly how they wanted it. So Blake, Sun, and Ilya, and then Yang, they all, like, defeat Adam together, because this is, at the end of the day, really Yang, Blake, and then Ilya, because Ilya was sort of, probably manipulated, in a lot of ways as well. And so and Sun's been dragged around the world, so let's not excuse that he's probably also, you know, not feeling too hot about Adam right now, but Yang has some physical, qualms with him, you know what I mean? And so I feel like in that regard that this won't it's not necessarily gonna be
being heterosexual, Blake Belladonna.
It's not necessarily gonna be anticlimactic, but I think that it will be satisfying, because everybody is gonna get exactly what they wanted. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is gonna get that scene where Adam has finally gotten his ass whooped by the people that they wanted his ass to be whooped by. So to speak. You know what I mean? And so, also, I'm still, like, that person that said that Neptune was gonna help defeat Adam, I'm still like, I see you. It's okay, Mega Shadow. It's okay. And so, yeah, in terms of, again.
Oh my god, are we gonna have to do his videos this week?
No.
Oh, thank Christ.
In terms of...
Cracker.
I haven't even looked at them. In terms of, being anticlimactic, I think that it really depends on how you look at it. I think that maybe it will be anticlimactic and it won't live up to the hype, but that doesn't mean it still won't satisfy people.
That's why we hype it as low as possible.
I think that what will satisfy people is everything kind of happening like they expect to an extent. Like that, we kind of all knew that Raven was gonna win against Cinder, but that doesn't mean that we weren't hyped to see it.
I had no clue. Okay. I really didn't.
Because a lot of people were so sure, but that didn't make it any less satisfying for them, because it wasn't about that they knew that Raven was gonna quote-unquote win, you can say. They didn't know that. Like, it was more about seeing it happen, and so I feel like that with this White Fang battle, the attitude that people have to have in terms of it, again, being anticlimactic, count how many times I said that during this video, is not about whether or not it will...
Take a shot, kids. You'll be dead by the end of it.
Whether it will shock...
You would have escaped.
Whether it will shock people necessarily, or whether it'll go against their expectations, but I think that if it falls into the expectations of what they believe should happen to Adam, about what Adam sort of deserves in terms of Yang and Blake and Sun and Ilya all kind of kicking his ass together, like, I feel like it'll be satisfying, because again, it's sort of like the Raven scenario, where okay, I don't want to say everyone, but people in my Discord server were like, yeah, Raven's gonna whoop her ass, right? But that didn't make it any less satisfying, because that's what they wanted to see.
And
so
the fight
I feel
was
like
so cool.
So I feel like instead of wanting to see something not necessarily different, but seeing something that subverts their expectations, they want their dream expectation. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what most people want, and that is what will really save Blake's arc, is not, like, oh, it was so anticlimactic, it's not what I, like, thought it was gonna be, but it's gonna be exactly what everybody wants it to be, and that alone will satisfy them, just like Raven whooping Cinder's ass. That's what everybody, that's what people wanted it to be, and that is what, like, and that is what satisfied their need. You know what I mean? So I feel like if this works the same way, if it happens, like, exactly like I've already said, that'll satisfy people's need for it. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
And so, yeah. So that's kind of all I wanted to say on that, because there's anticlimactic in a way where you're talking about, again, so, like, Jean's semblance, like, maybe that was anticlimactic because we kind of are, it didn't subvert our expectation of what was happening, and for some people, maybe it was satisfying just because they wanted to see Jean heal Weiss, but I feel like the Raven example is on a much larger scale, to an extent. Does that make sense? That it's on a much larger scale because, I think that was what the majority of people really wanted. They wanted to see, again, Cinder get her ass kicked. Everybody wants to see Adam get his ass kicked. If that is fulfilled, then people will be happy, I think. And so, yeah.
Ultimately,
this is a little bit of a messy-ass video.
I feel like the Adam thing was less like an end or a climax or an anticlimax and more of a placeholder. Like, this is what's happening right now. The real showdown is yet to come.
Yeah, and so that's what next episode I think is. Or maybe, yeah, or maybe we're not done yet. We don't really know, right? And so we kind of just need to wait and see, I guess, right? And so yeah, that's basically kind of all I wanted to talk about. I don't think there's anything else to say. I'm not saying that Adam will be fully defeated, or killed, I should say. But I think that he will lose this one, right? You understand what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean...
Embrace the gaze, never run away from it.
I forgot what I was saying. It's not necessarily that he'll die, and that's what we were talking about with Cinder. Like, it's not necessarily that Cinder will die, it's that Cinder will lose, and that's just kind of what happened, right? And so for now, it's sort of like, it's not that Adam will die, it's that he will lose, and that's really what I think we need right now.
Maybe he'll come back stronger than ever.
Maybe.
Maybe
this
Mia
isn't the end.
Maybe this video has gone significantly longer than we thought it would have been.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically my predictions for it. It's a light prediction. Like, really, because I don't have anything else that I think is gonna happen. Like, maybe I want to talk about Ilya having some death flags in a different episode. So that's the other thing that I'm thinking about, is that maybe Adam will kill Ilya, and that'll send, you know, Blake and Yang into a rage.
Come on,
or something.
No, don't bury the gaze right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm bringing it up as a possibility.
Or what if he can just murder a bunch of Faunus? That could be enough.
So I'm not saying it's gonna happen this way, but that's the predictability that I see. If I think of more ideas, I'll make an update video to this one by myself. I won't drag Hunter into this more already, but yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed our sort of prediction, and then talking about, like, I guess the anti-climax and all of that stuff. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this one, and remember, Discord, Patreon. We will see y'all later. Bye, guys.